Hello, hello, hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 11 and has autism. And we paint together. He helps me paint the backgrounds with a hand-over-hand method, and then I paint the rest. So, I am painting. Can anyone guess that's watched before? Flower. And I say flower. We'll see if it stays flower. I paint a lot of flowers. Oh, I can't think and paint, and that is not going what I want it to do. This is what happens. I have a little bit of a shake, and then if I'm not concentrating, which I talk a lot while I'm doing this, so there really can't be much concentration with that, I don't think. So, I think I'm going to do one thing and then something else happens. But I paint a lot of flowers, and I paint animals occasionally. I go through spurts, I suppose. Let's see if that works that time. That worked a little better. And so I thought I would do a flower, but like I said, if you've watched before, you know how that generally goes. Anybody else really hungry? I don't know why. All of a sudden I've decided that I'm like starving. And if you've watched before, you also know that generally I paint with one paintbrush when I'm painting, and then I just keep adding as I go along. Well, I'm trying something a little different, and I'm seeing how it goes. We shall see. That's always my answer. We shall see. I'm trying to get it where I can figure out how to actually make a real looking flower. I've done a few occasionally, but they always seem still like so just, random, I suppose, or not like drawn thought through or something. I don't even know what the right word is. So I was thinking that if I could kind of figure out how to, add in some textures with the paint and the way I do it, then maybe it would look a little more realistic. I like that metal. See, this style paintbrush is like my favorite paintbrush. And if you've watched before, you know that I paint with way too much paint, and usually use one paintbrush. But we're on to occasionally, yeah, I do have multiple paintbrushes, but it just depends on what I'm making and doing, and I'm kind of accepting this one. I was gonna fluff it all the way out, but I kind of like how it's ruffling a little bit there. I'm ruffling the feathers and adding some more color back in it, I think. So I don't honestly know that I'm gonna Oh, I don't know. It's probably off the screen, maybe. But see, this is where I get myself in trouble. I dropped a whole bunch of paint because I put too much paint on my paintbrush. It's a fact of my life. And I've learned to accept it. If y'all will just learn to accept it too, we can just move on. I get myself in trouble with that little known feature that I do put too much paint on the paintbrush and then it goes everywhere. But then we have what's called creative licensing. And then it gets spattered and all kinds of things. So that's what happens. That is what happens. I'm not sure what's happening here, but we're just going to continue to go with it. I don't think I'm going to try anything wild with this. I think I'm just going to let it, for once, tell the story. It's kind of even, not even, and I am going to do a little bit more to these leaves. So I wiped off some of the paint there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do much more with that. I'm just going to let it be. Now, I say that until I come down here and add too much or not enough or something to these leaves. I wanted it to be a little bit more like, I don't know. It's kind of like a poppy, but not a poppy. So we're just going to kind of go with the thought that it's something. That's the technical thing. It's something. And that little point I worked so hard to get. Now here now see, I'm adding a little of the textured color in there. I like how sometimes when it dries, it'll kind of mush it in there a little bit. I feel like the leaf is over the stem. Now I'm trying to decide, do I want another leaf? I do. I don't know why, but I do. We're just gonna put it on there, and that's probably not like what I really needed to do. Let's see how I can figure that out, but here we are. Then I feel like I want one over here. See, this is what happens. This is what happens, people. I get too excited about certain things, and I can't stop. I don't need another leaf. I don't. Okay, walk away from the leaves. So I'm pretty satisfied with how that looks. Because it's gonna have a little texture as it dries, which is a good thing. I feel like maybe I need a darker color. Maybe that's what I'm missing. It feels off or something. So the dark color that I want oops, I did not need that much, is out. So I need to get some more. But I think this is going to help a little. That's a little more. The shading is going to make me a little happier, I think. So my son and I went bowling today, and bless his heart, oh, I wish I could figure out how to help him, like, have fun in the moment and not worry about all of his days ahead. He is so ready for his routine for school to be back, and that's so hard because he is ready and it's still a month away. And so we had fun bowling, but every couple seconds, literally, he would ask me about what he was doing tomorrow. And he always says, Tuesday be with mommy tomorrow. Or, be Wednesday or whatever the day is. And some days he's far ahead in the days. And so he just kept wanting to know what he was going to be doing. And that's hard to get him to understand that we're doing something right in that moment. But we had fun. So I signed this O for Owen. And a lot of people have asked me or told me to tone this down, that it distracts from the painting. And I value the opinion. That's their opinion. That's great. But this is as much about our story of the painting as it is about everything. Owen is the reason I paint. He's the foundation of why I paint. And so I have to include him in there. And it's my heart. So this is us. And that is what the story is about. So I get it, but that's me. That's us. That's what we do. So, and I take the paint that I have left over, which I painted, and I make paint baubles and little magnets and different things. And this one, the first one, was a ring. I don't know if it turned over or if I turned it over, but it's a ring. There you go. So what I do is I take the paint and I blob it out. Just kind of blob. Take the blobs. And then once this is dry, then I go back in and make little baubles. So I can kind of mix it all in there. And it's two-sided, so, once I take it off this sheet, you can, there's two different styles of sides because of the way I poured it. So the purple's under there, and I'll get more out of it afterwards. So this is what I do. And then that will dry, and more to it. Oops, I hit that. All right, well, I thank you all for watching and being a part of our day. So, toodles!